Good evening, Smello everyone. Hope everyone was having a fantastic evening. Tonight we have a lovely Paladin Cup Group C race between Aeriyah and Sigil, who are mentored by, Sigil is mentored by Commander Leonhardt, and you may have heard of him. Tall Grant is mentoring Aeriyah. But before we get into the actual race, these amazing runners and share some details about them, allow me the pleasure to introduce Deathlike. Deathlike, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Doing okay. I see a poor start, but that's not a critical. That's good. I mean, we'll at least have a white mage. If see Rosa, probably yeet her, but at least we get safe start, so that's good enough.
Always good to see at least one white mage early. Yeah, a little bit about the Paladin Cup flags. They're a new player flag set, part of our new player community club we've been running in the background. And we got some of the group stage action still going on, still rounding out, still finishing up, and Sigil taking on Aeriyah is one of those matchups we're presenting tonight. So in the Paladin Cup flags, we need to complete 6 out of 8 objectives. 2 of them are ungated, but they are hard required. We have to do Mount Ordeals. We have to defeat the king at the Fey March. And most importantly, we're starting with the Legend of Sword, because how can you have a paladin without a holy sword to get going?
That would be dangerous. But yeah. So, I think from the objectives, we'll probably mostly require darkness to get the 6 we need. So that'll be fun. But I think the most important part, I think, is the start. Is really just just simple starting planning. I mean, my preferred route is to get all the characters. Probably try to get. I think try to get the late tell it as late as possible for looting purposes. Because if you can one shot loot the caves if exits don't come to you, tell us perfect for looting the waterway to DFC and because that's where all your loot should be from. I mean, you don't have to be strict to that, but it's I find that place up at least because of you're picking up characters to start with, you might as well go that way.
Yeah. Plus, with the T Wildish flags, if you don't get blessed with an exit to start with, an exit character, there's a lot of good loot everywhere. So, but these are again newer runners, so we want to give them a little bit more to work with. They can figure out the ins and outs of your enterprise, and tonight they're going to show off what they're learning. So, I think we'll be getting started here in just a moment or two.
Yeah. So I think the first objective, at least in this flag set, at least for me, would be just doing Mount Ordeals, collect all your characters and do Mount Ordeals. Now, if there's an edge in the seed, that makes it more trivial. But if you don't, I think at least if you're not like racing for it, at least you can learn a few things of getting to Mount Ordeals. If you have if you have a Cecil Atella early on, you try to do the spots. And speaking of Cecil, he's there, so I guess that'll make something easy. Free weapon, so great. Well, free weapon when he becomes a paladin. That is.
Free weapon indeed. Yeah, what's the point of having a Paladin Cup if you're not going up there and unlocking the Paladin class? But yeah, we're gonna, I imagine sooner rather than later, Sigil and Aeriyah, they've been learning quite a bit with some talented mentors and Commander Leonhardt and Tall Grant. Ordeal is a little bit on the tougher side early, but with right guidance plus showing off all they've learned so far, I imagine they'll be up to Ordeals sooner rather than later with Cecil in tow. Oh, I like this from Aeriyah. Looks like we're going straight to Eblon, and maybe we're going to do some peekaboo with the monster boxes and reset out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of veteran players do this strictly because the loot there is going to be better overall. It has the highest tier of anything on the overworld, so it's understandable. But this is elective because if you just do a simple loop on the right side, you warp your way out. So, and there's a fair chance you might not spike a monster in a box. So this is it's a reasonable attempt, and unfortunate, but at least this is doable. Just forget the last one, and that should get you at least a decent portion of treasure. if you're trying to not to attract all the MIBs, and we at least know there's one of them there, so maybe try to get few. There's only 6 on the northern side total, so that should be pretty low chance of getting the MIBs. Like ideally, you want a lot of them located in a corner. So Sigil is doing the standard fare of looting the waterway, which is fine, which is acceptable. It's on the way, and found the second one. So I guess it's just one more to bonk into, I guess, or we can just collect the 2 and go on our merry way, which is also possible. We'll see what Aeriyah wants to do. Oh, okay. We know there's one more left. I guess we'll just have to bump into it, and then pick our treasure, since Monster in the Boxes isn't vanilla, so it's in any random spot. So it'd be easier, it'd be friendlier if it were in these fixed spots. But now we know where they are. At least if we remember it quick. And should be a very free, easy time. The time spent of bonking at least up to 3 times is going to be a mandatory thing, though.
Yeah, looks like we definitely mentioned the Monster in Boxes or shuffle. We forgot to hit the shuffled over Mad Ogre Monster in Box today, but that's all right. Aeriyah has a great player in their ear, so we'll remember where that one was. But now that we've uncovered all 3, we can go through, get our heart's content. Meanwhile, it looks like Sigil's found Rosa, we found Paladin, we found Edge, we found a lot of cool things. So this is some pretty good party action going on here. Some of the I told my mentee that I think Edge is, in my opinion, probably the king of the Paladin Cup, because you can find wonderful things like Mazamoons and T-Wildways just out there in the wild. So that's a full moon Mazamoon already for Edge, and we're cooking with a little bit of gas here in the early going.
I mean, Edge, even if you don't get his weapons, you're probably going to get a lot of things to toss. So one way or the other, you're going to have him do something productive. Magic will be more useful only in the early stages, not so much later, because Flame and his magic doesn't really scale that well, but it's good enough for the overworld, terrible for pretty much anything else. But yeah, you can still get something out of Edge, especially stealing, especially for Bacchus wine from the ogres, or get a silk web from I forget which enemy people like using, the centipedes, but I like you can get silk webs also from the Arachne in the Fey March fights. So that's all, but that's not the first thing you think of. It's easier to do with a siren because you don't have to bend RNG, but that's a lot of, should be at least a solid character crew. You can probably go full Zerker, or more white, or maybe with some magic. I think it's still probably better to have at least a black and white mage in the party to speed things up. Black mage ideally to murder all the things quickly, and the white mage to, well, exit being the first part, but also just because you need healing, because safety and not dying.
FBL in chat mentioned he wouldn't loot another box if he was Sigil. I wouldn't blame him with that approach. We got an arty bow, we got a power shirt. If we wanted to turn this cane into an anchor, we already have a drain spear out there somewhere. So right off the bat, we could have some agility shenanigans going on. Looks like we're going to outfit this Edge to its heart's content here on Sigil's side, and we're going to dive on into some checks. Love to see it. Good rule of thumb on this flag set. If you're not in the checks after about 5 minutes, you probably played the wrong flag set, because there's plenty to be out there, and both runners have found more than enough to get going. And yeah, we should start seeing some boss fights here in the not too distant future.
Didn't see where Paladin came from, but Aeriyah is deciding going full twins, or those are still roses. So that's doing more magic, unless we haven't gone through all the characters yet for Aeriyah.
We still don't know the Ordeals character. It looks like it could be anybody, because we found a lot of the unique item characters like the Edge, and then Cecil and Kane. So there's not a lot of character items out there, because T playable is on. So if we've opened the treasure chest, that means somebody out there can use it. but we haven't unearthed anything that says, hey, this person is for sure over there. Maybe an Earth Hammer would tell us that there's a Sid waiting for us, but
Yeah.
it could be anybody.
Yeah, especially like practically every character has their own special set of weapons, so that usually makes it easier. Although I think for White Mage, I think Porum and Rosa pretty much have the same stuff effectively. So that's kind of hard to tell, but at least you know there's a White Mage. Well, you already knew White Mage when to start with, but for Black Mages, like Aeriyah has whips over Palm. That's not much of a gain. And yeah, simultaneous. Let's loot some more, I guess, if you're not happy with what you got.
So let's circle back to FBL. FBL in chat, who was our wonderful restreamer tonight, mentioned he would not open another chest if he was Sigil. And I assume Aeriyah as well. Let's see if both of our runners operate on that same principle now with an sub 7-minute Earth Crystal in tow.
I'm more towards just doing Fabul. I'd rather just do that. If I were doing Earth, I would do it on the way, just doing the objective, but it's not. I don't believe it's one of them, so it's better off to go to do Fabul. But Aeriyah's deciding to get the hook. Sigil deciding to go up Ordeals, which is fine. As long as Palom's gotten one level, you'll probably get more out of Palom one way or the other, and that's good enough. You never Palom base level doesn't do anything special. No, that Bard, we're going to have the spoon first, so probably not. No, yeah, there it is. Was the dancing picked up though from that? I missed it.
I don't think so, but with a Masamune full moon edge, maybe Sigil's thinking, hey, any dancing dagger shenanigans are going to take a backseat to this edge, and
no, it was more for Palom. It would have been more for Palom. That's about it. It is free damage magic. That's the only reason why I'm pointing out. I mean, yeah, Edge with his weapons, you easily better than the dancing dagger.
All right, so Aeriyah is going to give our first look into the Treasury. Ninja Shirt, love to see it. Bahamut Orb doesn't help us out, but it'll sell for a lot of money. I think that's the fourth full moon. It is 8:39 p.m. my time, Central U.S., so it's about time to see some moons. What was your thoughts on that Treasury there, Deathlike?
That was probably a lot of things you didn't need, but still a lot of the useful things you actually wanted. So, and there's a lot of things to toss. So, Dart out of 10.
I think the Ninja Shirt is probably the best thing in there, because now you can have a Ninja and Power Shirt, maybe a little diversity with the armor situation. But overall, with all the high tier 8 items that could have been in there, left a little bit to be desired.
I mean, some treasuries have a theme. It can be dirt, like dirt chunk, or they're perfectly what you needed, and just oftentimes you're just not going to get what you need for the particular character. It's just the way the treasury has been forever.
All right, got an Odin sighting at the back half of Ordeals. Edge is in the back row. Again, doesn't matter because we found plenty of full moons, so we are fully back row capable. Edge with his Masamune full moon should make quick work of this Odin. It's always nice to get Odin off the table early because he can be a little bit trickier on some of the tougher spots if you don't have a Thunderclaw for this party.
I think and this is the only spot that probably gives most people new players trouble because of the surprises that can be. This one is pretty tame, comparatively speaking. So this is, but you still have to be fast enough to take care of them. But with Edge in the party, pretty much any overworld boss is pretty free unless it's Plague at this spot, and then you might have to panic if you don't have anything to kill the Plague with, which is always be scary because Edge at this spot speeds up the countdown, which means your murders much quicker, and you probably want to reset immediately.
All right, so Sigil did not get the Treasury, but he is through Ordeals faster. This has been very linear trajectory now that we've gone 2 different ways with our chest options. So Sigil, first through. Let's see what we get. Let's go for a hook. I want a good hook route tonight. These runners have been looking hard if they can tackle a hook route. Let's go.
Yeah, summoned it into existence.
Let's go. Now, that doesn't mean there cannot be a magma key at the Baron Inn, possibly Earth Crystal Tower or Fabul. But we do have one way to access underground. We do have pretty good power in Sigil. Let's see if he's willing to show off what he's learned and put it to the test.
Speaking of the play, but it's pretty free at the spot. I would still check for magma for what the spots left, if only because there's no it takes a lot of time and effort to do the hook route because you have not every there isn't a guarantee that a nasty boss is there, but hook routes take a lot of effort to just get through. So if you can basically sidestep it with a magma key in a, like say if it's in the inn, that's better off for the racer. But that still a chance that there isn't. But I think, and there have been races defined by not picking up magma key, like where you've immediately found the hook, but don't have didn't look closer for an easier time with the magma key. You know that's a lot of time spent sometimes and a difference. So I think it's still even if the result is not finding a magma key, you still at least check for it just in case.
Question from the chat. Yes, S standard. So the better items like the Bacchuses, the Sirens of the Worlds, those are going to be behind gated shops. And yeah, the hook route does give us access to a first gated shop, so they could be down there, which would speed up the hook route if we go that route. It's like Sigil's going to go get his 2 out of 10 rated by the chat Treasury here.
I mean, it could be worse. I don't, and that it's, but at least you get. It's, I mean, I do think the only issue of playable, at least defined in this fork, is that, summon orbs, and if Edge is not in the seed, you'll still be picking up shurikens and ninja stars, even if he's not in the seed. So that's a feature. I'm sure, and for sure there's a plan to be changing that, but that's after this tourney ends, though. At least at the earliest, anyways.
Inventory boss here, catching up to Sigil, gets his last heal. That is all of his treasury. Let's see where Sigil goes, because now we are essentially all caught up. Aeriyah is through Ordeals, all 3 battles. Well done, very nicely done. Now we got a moment of truth. We're going to do that hook route. Is Sigil going to go up? Sigil's going up. I love that about Sigil. Sigil just goes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you loot, you feel like you're probably wasting time. But in this, and I'm not saying this is going to be a waste. It could be ending up to be a waste. But you want, ideally, in terms of the routing, to do things while you're there and not try to come back to it later. Ideally, sometimes you have to peek. You'll be our runners will probably peek the boss, and if that boss is really really nasty, then you'll come back anyways because you're gonna have to gain levels. Both runners will kind of make that decision when they'll visit the Fey March to fight who's ever at the king spot so it's one of those things where routing can gain some time. So Sigil might gain some time when Aeriyah's visiting Zot for whatever reason sometime down the road.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is nice. Aeriyah knows where the monster in boxes are. We know especially where those ogres are, so that Rune Axe will make quick work of them. We know where everyone else is, so like he's doing his, he's gonna get in there, clear them out, and see what goodies we get for doing so.
Yeah, both runners are not doing Fabul. and I don't think either's done. Well, I think Sigil will eventually do the Baron in through Zot, but so that's a interesting decision for Aeriyah not to even check the Baron in. Though I guess you could probably do the same. Just do Zot later to do the Baron in while you're there. So I guess that works on the routing. It's just one of those strange not to even at least do Fabul.
Yeah, I think the odds of it. So both runners are at the point with the chest settings that the things that benefit them are located behind monster hunter boxes. So the normal cool stuff, the protect rings, the source robes, aren't going to move the needle much further. You're pretty much at the point where you have to cherry pick what you would get out of the chest to benefit your party. And most of those things are going to be behind monster hunter boxes, and that's what Aeriyah is about to take on, is the first, the Mad Ogre monster hunter box here. So the monster boxes, the Evelyn, maybe Sylph Cave, maybe some random moon monster boxes. At this point, I think the Edge is more than enough to proceed, but a Crystal Sword, Excalibur, Cecil, or maybe even getting one of the Adamant armors in one of those chests would speed things up a little bit, but we're firmly at the point now where we have more than enough. Now can we just maybe, without going too much out of our way, turn it into way more than enough, and maybe speed up our mid-game and in-game that way?
I don't think. I'm probably not so concerned about the loot. I think this is more for the experience, so that they'll be able to do the hook route in relative safety. You don't not want to do the hook route with a level 1 Cecil. That just doesn't sound. That's not safe. So this is Sigil's doing it differently than Aeriyah, where Aeriyah is doing through loot. Sigil's doing through just, hey, we're doing Zot. We've got loot at the place, and now doing Zot and for the XP. So it's definitely at least you can see how the thinking on like where am I going to get my levels for the hook route.
Ooh, nice cover by Cecil. Alright, because we just have ungated characters, we're in Distinct 7. One of the perks of Zot usually, we're not learning it in this flag set, but usually the perk of Zot is 2 chances at a character like a Cecil, but we've already got him in our starting party. Plus all the others we found out are Distinct 7 in our ungated checks, so there's no characters up here, just little pickies that are always fun to see. But yeah, so this is a nice little moment here. I missed what... Ooh, Avenger, nice. Avenger's very nice. Avenger is very nice indeed.
Probably ideal for the King. You want Cecil on cover duty if the worst case. But this is a heavily Zerker party, so probably not as required, but still nice to have if you need 2-1 cover strats.
Oh no, these Magacesses are not cooperating.
Yep, they're stronger in the spot that they're not supposed to be in. That's what makes this interesting. Their default spot is the spot before this, which they're not that. I mean, this spot is doesn't have as much HP, but has a lot more magic. So you definitely need to stop the magic, and where Sigil's pretty safe now. The only lethal part is Charm, but that's about it. That's the worst you can. Yes, worst you can get. Whatever Mindy spams is pretty comical, although that's similar to Paladin, because I don't know what the spell multiplier, but it's ridiculous this spot. So yeah.
Oh no. We got both characters charmed at different spots. What are the odds? I don't think I've ever seen that before on a restreamed race. This Cecil, all types confused. Looks like
it's fine.
Aeriyah's getting this fight under control. Oh no, maybe not.
Needs a Kane to do Kane or Edge to do something. It's probably Edge.
Okay, there we go.
Well, that's a solution to everything. Just kill the charmed person. That's a solution.
And very nicely done by Sigil. There is a little bit of a difficulty spike between Ordeals and Tower of Zot, and He's able to get through a sticky situation, needing 4-figure light 2s from the Mega Sisters, and he's through, and he's going to get rewarded with a package. It is an objective, so it's always a good feeling.
Probably will have. Don't at this point probably not likely to see Aeriyah to do Zot if you're doing this. It's just so that I guess it might be technically an advantage to Sigil, but still. But Zot doesn't contain the same kind of density of XP as the 3 monster boxes in Castle Evelyn, so not quite the same, but probably still be passable to at least use the hook route. No, unless the boss is nasty at the spot, so we still don't know what that boss is. So, but the indirect level gaining is good enough, at least for now.
Yeah, that's Vanilla Ogres, French Vanilla Mega Sisters, and now we got Straight Vanilla Guards. We may have the original FF4 ROM trying to take over this seed and work its way back into all the correct spots.
You mean you want a CPU fight in the Giant, is what you're saying.
Or
In
the
the element
Ribbon
spot. Yeah.
In the Ribbon, yeah.
I don't think the room is as threatening as that. I mean, I guess. But that's not a requirement though. Giant is though.
Alright, Sigil threw his Baron in. Let's see what he gets. The Ruby Key.
We're probably gonna take advantage of Warp when Dwarf Castle is happening. So probably not as useful. I mean, if Sealed Cave was on the list, that would probably be more valuable. So, but we're probably gonna avoid the entire thing. So that might be Baron not as useful. But Aeriyah's gonna do that anyways because just have to but not efficient for routing though compared to Sigil.
Right, little camping gear for Sigil before he makes his way. I assume he's going to go underground. We're down to just Fabul defense. We're going to go collect our hovercraft with our wonderful hook. Oh, you know what? I take that back. We do have access to the package, so we can go ahead and knock this off while we're flying over it. That's smart there by Sigil.
Yeah, so you're in the area, might as well do it, and you don't have. And I don't think we have to do anything, but just open it up. I mean, there are package requirements where you actually have to do the fight at Kaipo. So this is while this is a cutscene, it takes some time, but you don't have to do the full event.
So another flag we haven't talked about yet that is enabled in this flag set is Late Darkness, and Sigil is now effectively not too far away from go mode. Having that package plus the 2 ungated checks now means that there's just 3 more we gotta find out of the 6, and the Darkness Crystal is technically getting 3 of those 6. So now if we find the Darkness Crystal right away, we could have a sub 35 minute go mode.
The darkness. Trying to remember if the darkness is intentionally gated behind underground in this flag set.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not going to be immediate. You have to do immediately after doing the hook route. Then there's only a few checks available to make that happen. So it's gonna. So it's still kind of a while away for that to happen. I mean, so it's not too bad though.
Like Sigil forgot one important piece of equipment for doing the hook route, and that is the hovercraft. There we go.
That happens. I mean, dude, where's my hovercraft?
Yeah, the GPS and geo-tracking wasn't invented in 1991 yet when FF4 came out, so you just had to remember you parked everything.
Just don't park the big whale at in Troy Forests. That's just... Unless it's the last thing you do.
Alright, so it looks like Sigil is going to make his way into Eblon, work his way through some monster in the boxes. We all know what he's looking for here. I don't believe it's here. However, he won't be too mad when he eventually finds that Avenger that's waiting for him in here somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of some of the stuff. The Bahamans, you don't have Aeriyah. That's just well, can't start hoarding all the orbs for Aeriyah-less seed. Is yeah. This is why you make you when you fight the inventory boss. It's basically anything you would have dumped anyways. You should do it immediately.
He could be saving them to sell them, because they do sell for quite a bit.
They do. You got should have, but there were plenty of shops on the way. Like even the although I mean yeah, you had Baron. You just did Baron. Could have just sold some of that stuff there. Like the store isn't too far off the entrance, so probably could have sold it much earlier instead of just late dumping. Seems like sort of counterproductive.
Yeah, it is. That is a good point. It is a good idea that, okay, if you come to Eblon, generally there's a lot of chest chests and then you want to come with that inventory. However, Sigil has a lot going on. He's trying to remember all the checks he has access to. He's remembering that he has access to the hook route coming up, and the hook route is a massive difficulty spike. I haven't seen all of the seed Sigil's played, but it's 50-50 if you're going down here or not, and there's something tough down here. Maybe they're going through some scenarios, so the inventory boss maybe just creeped up on a little bit, going through all of the scenarios to prepare for the hook route.
I mean, it's inevitable. Even a veteran runner will visit the inventory boss to throw out all the things they don't need. So it's not the first or the last. So it's not like uncommon. But if you can prevent, the inventory boss from showing up, do so quickly. You will definitely find something to buy at some point.
Alright, so Aeriyah is going to get his 4k damage lightning 2s here from Cindy, but he should have most of the things Sigil has access to, plus he has a great teacher in his ear, so we should be able to comfortably navigate this Magus Sisters fight, excuse me. So what are some of the scary bosses down there, Deathlike, that could be down there on the hook route that would give these runners some trouble?
There's usually too many to count. But I think, the first one is the King Queen Eblin spot. Typically, anything like something like a Baigan, Dark Imp, something that has multiple attackers, because when they when they'll punch fast, and that usually annihilates a lot of parties. There's also favorite guy, Pain Man, DKC, on that side, using Dark Wave. That's always devastating at the King Queen Eblin spot. The Ruby spot not so as threatening. It's still a chunky spot to kind of to eat HP off. I think, but something again, Baigan, CPU makes that fight really a slog. It's doable, but it's a slog depending on how your party is set up. There's also Turtle Kinazo. That's always a fun time trying to learn the proper strats for that. So that's always a pain point at the Ruby spot with all that HP. So yeah.
I think Sigil may have accidentally left the Avenger in the waiting screen. I think he's gonna go back for it. Oh no. That is unfortunate. The inventory boss may have had a misclick.
Gotta be. I mean, it's not like you're. Yeah. Anything. Some Avenger is pretty much game changing in most cases. They pretty much see solo Kane. Probably preferable in Kane because you want to waste time jumping if you don't have to. but allow Cecil to do his cover thing. But yeah, the Avenger is usually Kane's best weapon. So you just and Aeriyah's making it slow, painful grind because you want to wait for the event, but those extra inputs are slowing the event down.
Alright, so Sigil did indeed, he reset. He's going to go back through, get all of his stuff back in the image, look like that Avenger. Yeah, that's just the power of the Avenger. He knows his inventory is here full as well, so maybe going to dump off some things and be better prepared for the rest of the chest he's going to open. He was technically ahead because he and Aeriyah had done pretty much the same things. The only thing missing was these few Avalon boxes, but it does open the door for Aeriyah to get back, catch up to Sigil. You know, Aeriyah does flip this race upside down. They've done their package trade-in. They're grabbing their hovercraft and they're making their way to the Avalon Cave.
I would have said, I think Sigil would have been slightly ahead now the reset happened, just because of the routing. Aeriyah's done things little suboptimal in terms of the routing. I mean, they're fine in terms of like they both did the same thing. I think Sigil's did a bit better on the routing part, but that reset allows Aeriyah to catch up pretty much. So that not significant difference, but depends on what the Ruby boss spot happens to have.
Alright, so we got hourglasses, we got coffins in the first item shop that we see that is gated, so that is a fantastic find. That means if we elect to do the next set of ogres in the monster in a box that's ahead of us, they will go much faster because they are now essentially free, along with some other things that we may possibly find. It's a very nice shop indeed.
Very nice. Those single cells probably should just set the cell number to buy number to 3. You can actually adjust the number of items you buy from the vendor, and if you just put 3, it looks like they bought 3. Aeriyah bought 3 of each. Coffins and hourglasses, that would save a little bit of time. Not critical, but it's just small optimization. Especially things of that nature. You're probably not buying too many in bulk. Just enough. Oh, that's free boss, at least on the Ruby side of things.
They bought no star bells, but we do start with enough star bells as long as we don't have any shenanigans we're not prepared for. And they bought a couple hourglasses, couple of coffins, and no free is on. So the guards, we already seen the guards there back in their vanilla habitat. But if we happen to stumble across the other officers or the dark nymphs, those will be able to be stopped, and Aeriyah will be able to coffin them if they elect to do so. It looks like they feel very comfortable with the levels. They're just ignoring the ogre blocks wherever it could be, and it's gonna make their way on down to the boss.
Still worth a save. You never, as I said, the King Queen Upland boss can be pretty devastating if it's a punchy spot. So punchy boss. So looks like Paladin being the anchor, which is acceptable. I think of all the characters, Paladin is the slowest. This is fun.
This is a lot of fun. Alright, so we got the Gauntlet here. We're going to see some eggs. We're going to see some blade men. We're going to see... I forget what they're called. I think they're called sorcerers. We're going to see a lot of fun stuff, but this is very manageable, especially with the Avengers Cecil going on.
Well, the Lamia might interrupt things, because Avenger Cecil will have a chance at hitting the Lamia, which causes charm, which can screw things up. So Lamia is usually lethal. I mean, Black Cats typically are, but Avenger Cecil is strong enough for that. It's Lamias and charm can do a number and can make things miserable, but they're taken care of pretty quickly, so that's usually good enough most of the time. They're like the secondary problems in the monster in a box, the Lamia and 2 Black Cats. So that usually transfers into the alt Gauntlet as well. At least that particular fight.
Alright, Sigil opening, but electing not to touch any of the chest on the way down. Wise move, even the Stillman fight can give you something cool, but the odds of that is very low, so it's probably not worth the time until, well, you never know until it isn't, but odds are that it's probably not worth the time, so wisely avoiding all of the chests down here. He's finding out the news that he's got a Dark Elf in front of him, and Aeriyah manages as well as you could hope to see the Gauntlet in this spot with the seeing it blind with the Avenger Cecil going on.
Well, Avenger Cecil is kind of problematic because if you don't succeed, you get a virus. The virus is at least just a single multiplier, so the damage isn't huge, but just really a nuisance. So, but Sorcerer, don't know what it summons at this spot, and frankly, doesn't matter because Quake Kid does Quake Kid things.
I think there's one more.
Yeah, it's the green dragon in the egg is if my recollection. So might be a little painful, but I think another swing from Cecil should be enough. Okay, I was wrong.
There we go.
It was a little bit more than the yellow dragon egg scrambler. So it's kind of shocking, but the yellow dragon gives a lot more XP than the green dragon in that egg. So
maybe it's like a different grade of egg or comes from a different farm. All right, Dark Elf. Here we go.
So the only real thing you have to worry about is whoever gets weak needs to be healed immediately. So there's a little bit of downtime in between that and when the Dark Elf does the Tri-Elemental, commonly little damage, but still more than enough to murder a weakened character. So that kind of is problematic. It would be easier. This fight would be slightly easier if, say, Cecil had this Legend Sword and then swapped in the Avenger, because that would make. But that didn't happen because we knew what the boss was, so that did actually have an opportunity to do that in between the King Queen Evelyn fight and this boss. You actually have time. You actually can get in the menu as soon as you have learned Edge's spells, essentially.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have flipped to the actual true form of the Dark Elf. So we are halfway through the fight. Now this is the easier portion of the fight, believe it or not. Aeriyah stopping him, putting an end to any movements the Dark Elf could possibly do, except for the one already in the queue. And gonna move this fight along towards its conclusion here, not too long.
If there was a Tello, we could weak it and make this fight even easier, but no Tello, it's fine. This is the hourglass is might as well have erased the boss. Still have to chew through the boss's HP, but once you get the hourglass down, an hourglass to any hourglass will actually make this fight pretty trivial, pretty much.
Alright, Sigil working his way through his gauntlet. This fight should not last too much long for Aeriyah. So, Deathlike, if you're Aeriyah here, you're underground around the 40-minute mark. You got pretty good power. Where are you going first?
Well, my preference is Dwarf Castle, mostly for the double key item opportunity. You have to use the warp glitch to do that, and warp glitch isn't disabled in this flag set last I checked. So it's that was my preference. But you have the alternative going to get the freebie at Fey March and then peek at the boss. So that's all, which is always an option, and you'll be doing other things most likely if the king isn't gonna murder you quickly. So I think, but I would just do the dwarf check first, because there's also the warp glitch and the free cannon from Sid in his bed. Well, in his sleeping bed when he's in Dwarf Castle.
It is vacation bed.
I mean, he's not in the sea, so he is taking a vacation.
Yeah, we do have access to one siren if we want to get Palom to warp, and Palom needs to be level 20, 29 to get to warp. I think we're just a little bit shy. So if we go there, you can always go there, and hopefully that Palom gets there with the levels from the 2 fights. However, it's not a guarantee Palom survives those fights, and especially with him being back-to-back, there could be there always exists probably a scenario where it's really hard.
Yeah,
it's not impossible to keep Palom alive with the experience, so it's like Aeriyah's going to crack their one egg and get Palom warp.
Oh, that's guaranteed Palom gets warp. Don't have to worry about the surviving the fights, just have to revive Palom after the fact. Just make sure to use the warp spell immediately after the thing, because if you do the Sid event, you can't get back, because the Sid key item event prevents warp from working in that room. If that flag wasn't on, you should be able to warp out of the room no problem, I believe.
No, you can still do the warp glitch even if you're getting a key item from the Sid in his bed. It doesn't
matters
whatsoever.
I think it just matters of the order of how when you visit Sid, essentially. But either way, you still don't want to just make sure to collect your key items as quickly as possible.
This is another one of those gated item shops. We don't see the cool things we want. We're down to just Bacchuses and Sirens as far as the things I think we would want to find in the shop. Maybe a cursed ring. We'll never say no to a pan. Now if we wanted to trade that in, do it all in one motion, we have the ability to do so. Plus, if we want to maybe, make some, grill some chicken in that pan, we have that option to do so as well. So a lot of good uses we can make out of that pan.
So Sigil made his fight harder simply because Edge is the anchor in his party, which speeds up the fight in favor of the boss, unfortunately. But at least has the correct weapon to make Dark Elf's life super miserable, as you can see it doing all the damage that a surprising Legend Sword can do. Does he actually have the light? Doesn't light probably makes this a little. Yeah, the light sword makes it easier. Yeah, makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, the vet sword is pretty good, but I think the light sword just looks cooler, and that's the more important thing. All right, dolls. Speaking of things we forgot to shuffle, we had yet another boss that worked their way out of the randomizer algorithm and proceeded to make their way back to their vanilla habitat. So we will have to investigate this.
What, too much vanilla? It's like 2-3 scoops already. I'm just kind of licking my lips to consume the vanilla.
Alright, Sigil's through his Dark Elf. Nothing to be ashamed of. The hook route is always difficult no matter the party, no matter the setup, and he is through. Very nicely done. Let's see if he peeks what's going on with the top of Bab-il. He does not. Maybe he just has it in his head that he's never going up there.
I mean, Keyless Tower is its own gamble. So, and some once in a blue moon, the top of tower gives you literally that particular key. So that every so often happens. Though we do know it's just a sparkle, so we don't really know what exact boss. We do know it's one of the lunar subterranean bosses that are left on the list. So there's still like D Lunar, Ogo, Wyvern. So yeah, tons of fun left. Tons of fun options left.
Ooh, Sigil didn't say before he went into Dwarf Castle. That's bold, my friend. Luckily, we know it's just some dolls into a Paladin, but a Val into an Ogopogo or vice versa, there are a lot of things that could just be not fun to experience, so.
Yeah. Val is usually the pinnacle of pain. forgot to mention Val because Val's in my head a lot, or at least in this particular fork. It came to my attention a while ago. Was like when just playing this flag set that when Val comes up in certain moons, particularly moon spots, she's super beefy, or she's super, well, not beefy, but super evasive, hard to kill. In when she spins. So I know both our runners have Kane, but if Kane wasn't there, you're miserably creased. And hey, we have sirens, so that guarantees what our grind's going to be anyways. There are alternative grinds, but sirens for at least for runners, usually simple, quick, and easy to do most of the time.
Yeah, looks like both with sirens in tow. Well, maybe that's right. Aeriyah does have the pan already from completing the full dwarf check. So it looks like we're gonna get a full pan trade in. We're gonna take it on down there, show Yang some appreciation, send a message to him from Sheila, and then we'll return the pan with that message in tow. And this will give us a stab at 3 more key items, and we're inching closer and closer to getting 10. That will make this grind that's already kind of fast even faster if we're able to get the 10 key items before we have to tackle any of the tougher bosses in the seed. And that's always a nice little boon.
I think for a lot of runners, when figuring out time when to grind, yeah, you have all the sirens, but you're wondering, when do I want to do it? And ideally, you want to get your 10 key items, but sometimes you're not quite there yet. So sometimes you delay it as much as possible, picking up all the key items that you possibly can, like you do before doing the grind. So sometimes you can delay. Like a lot of things that you can do, like Aeriyah has the right idea. Try to get all the key items before doing the grind. So it's certainly an option when you can get as many as you can. So some seeds will pretty much give it to you like candy, and some can't. In some seeds, there's sometimes it's all on the moon, and at least with this flag set, it could be all on the moon, and you have to live with not having 10 key items to do your grind with.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if we do some eggs before we get 10 key items. Obviously, it's preferred to get 2 times the experience, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. This is all blending very much towards some physical attackers for the final fight, and there are no set levels to learn spells. It'd be nice if we probably got Nuke and White, and we'll probably get Cure 4 with just a little bit of Sirens here we have anyways, but there are no hard deadlines for a level, so just enough to beat the game. Maybe that's what Sigil's thought process is here. That's a pink tail. That means we have an adamant in our future.
Yes, it does. That still, I think 1 key item off. But now can probably has the potential to get the key item to get to the 10. So doing this should be good enough. Understandably, fading Fabul is a popular meme, so it works out this time. Doesn't always, but if you can get away with it, I'm kudos. But your worst case scenario is that you have to actually get the pan from Sheila. So just say it can happen.
All right, so Cecil takes care of Cecil. Is this key item number 10? It can't be the darkness, but it can be something else cool. It could be a spirit.
There it is. That's good. It's good enough. So probably would have benefited keeping if the Edward was kept, because but having faded this long ago, it's kind of not so valuable now. But probably could have sort of replaced Cecil, or maybe Edge if the weapons were coming, but it was definitely the Kane. But you want Kane for the occasional
and
for this Val protection, but that's about it.
The ladies and everyone in attendance, the streak is over. Sigil has parted with his summon orbs. He was leaving the suspense there when he was playing with them, but looks like he was just waiting for the Bacchuses. And Bacchus indeed is always a nice find. We got the Darkness Crystal, we got Bacchuses, we've got a healthy amount of levels. We just need to take care of this king spot, and then we are in go mode. We have to do this king spot, remember, and that is a nasty spot. That is a nasty thing to see here.
Is that Ruby or is that Elements? Have we even seen either? Feels like the
I
answer.
think we've seen either.
I think it's actually. I feel it's worse if Elements is at that spot. Ruby, Ruby, standard Ruby, it won't be threatening with the magic too. Well, Glare still will rock your world, but yeah. But either would still be pretty nasty. So it almost doesn't matter. And we know the other side is Water Hag because we've seen the alt Gauntlet already.
I think this is fortunate that this is Elements here because Ruby with a very berserk heavy offense would have been a nightmare with all those counterfire twos. Because remember, Sigil doesn't have the adamant that Aeriyah will have here. He's walking a power shirt, which is nothing to not be ashamed of, but that'll be a lot of fire twos this early in the siege from a very strong boss.
No, the spell power at this spot isn't it's not really that strong though. It's I mean, Leviathan is at the spot, and the only thing that matters for Leviathan is just getting the big wave going. So, but Aeriyah's doing the leveling, which is fine. This is you don't want to get to the glare section, so try to change the element as quickly as possible. Big problem with elements is having an elemental weapon that doesn't match the enemy's weakness until it becomes Val. Yeah, Cecil with the light sword not half as effective, even though despite being zerked, still not as useful. So we'll have to. So yeah, you see that damage? Yeah, it's definitely not moving. It is good enough for this because unless he has one of the boomerangs, which would be pretty bad. But we're now at the good part, and Val's weak to White Holy Elemental, which is what Cecil's wielding. So that's where the damage is coming from.
Nice, nicely done, Sigil. Alright, Aeriyah done with the raid grind. Get an Avenger for our troubles. That is actually not bad because we do have the two characters that can wield the Avenger. So Sigil now has 3 of his objectives done and 3 remain, and the Darkness Crystal takes us to the last 3. So, Deathlike, if you were Sigil here, would you do the Giant first and then head out to the Moon, or are you going to do the Moon then come back and do your giant objective blast?
From a routing standpoint, Giant makes more sense. I would typically just do the Moon and clear it out, hopefully get the pass, and then sort of be on my way. But I think under the scenario, I think it makes more sense to do Giant to get there. So you're doing Giant first means you'll immediately become Z ready. Being Z ready means you'll have all the levels you need and experience, and you have probably. While the fight isn't going to be super easy, but at least it'll make it much more manageable. So because doing the giant jet in most cases means you're going to collect all the experience you ever want to finish the game, and that will make your subsequent fights, the spots where you're required to do, much easier. So I think giant first seems like a better plan at the moment. There'll still be issues depending on what the bosses there are, but I think I'm tempted to do Giant first, based on that. Because the result is you'll already be here. You don't have to worry about the pass to do the Z fight.
Now, I don't remember if the ad or the pink tail, which leads to an adamant, was the Sheila or the pan check, because Scissor does not have the pan, but he will have the first half of the Sheila check to trade in. So that adamant, if it was the first pink tail, because the second one was the magma key, which is doesn't do anything for us anymore. That would be nice for Sigil, because that's adamants are nice to have.
So Aeriyah's edge is doing half as much damage because of the wind elemental aspect of the boomerang. So that's sort of like the light sword part of the problem. So and yeah, see, that's what happens when you have a wizard. You probably want to use Quake or Virus if you want to guarantee that the damage doesn't heal the boss on the boss change.
I think this will be key item number 9 for Sigil.
Oh, trying to do the grind. Yeah, this makes sense. But this gets two key items anyways. So if I'm not, yeah, there it goes.
Oh wait, Sigil does have the pan. Oh wait, the pan was the door. He didn't do the. Okay, I was mistaken. I thought he didn't have the pan.
No, got the 10 key items, so probably now. So the indirect giant grind will be more effective, essentially. Indirect. If you have, when you have 10 key items, I think you get like around 500,000-ish XP. I'm not quite sure the exact number, but it's with the double XP, which is usually enough to get you to to definitely get the Z level ready stuff. So just to compare it against something like Rydia to level 50 to learn Nuke, she needs 1 million XP. So that's pretty much halfway there.
All right, there's our adamant, which is always going to be there with the pink tail in this flag set. Aeriyah raising the blue whale. So yeah, we're going to find out here real fast what the approach is going to be. Tall Grant, Commander Leonhardt, in Sigil's ear, Tall Grant, Aeriyah's ear, guiding the way. Yeah, so let's find out what the approach is going to be here for these two teams.
It's sort of interesting. It can be interesting. The alternative is not avoiding giant and hoping you pick up a key item required for the other objectives. But who are we swapping out? We're swapping anchors, I think. Doesn't value Quake Kid for the anchoring position. Maybe probably collect enough too many levels to be misanchored properly. The alternative is to actually use the Porum. Still has the anchor, but maybe just as double to make the party more durable. But it's either that or anchor duty. I suspect anchor duty though.
Yeah, we had enough levels to get warp, so we had not probably the most agility in the world, but we had enough agility that for anchoring problems, anchoring situation will be a little bit out of whack. And looks like we are getting different approaches. We are going giant first on the left side of the screen. We are going to the moon on the right side of the screen. So we got a little bit of divergence. And this is exciting stuff. Could come down to a sticky boss, the sticky situation, and how somebody deals with it, and gets to the end game first. And this is exciting times.
I really don't expect the giant first option to be the most appealing. Mostly just because. Whatever is at both spots, but I usually worry about the elements spot because of the high HP of that spot. But the CPU spot can be just as nasty because it's both punchy and magic blasting spot. So, but it has low HP, so it's sort of like a glass cannon spot for whatever boss. But it still can be very painful. For some things, and hey,
oh no,
knew it.
Oh no, this is very much doable, but it might be a time investment. That is unfortunate.
Well, you have Kane, so Kane will solve pretty much everything as long as Cecil's not on cover mode. You definitely have to manually use Kane. Can't use the Avenger, even though I think we've seen both Avengers available. So picked up for both our runners. So Evangelist Kane is fine. We want to control the battle specifically with him. See how little damage. Gotta remember that compared to the 5.0 alpha that isn't going to be used here, but is still work in progress. This fork has a very very tanky Val. That's why you can't just ignore the stats on Val. It's just she's very evasive. So Kane is essentially mandatory for completing the giant.
Yeah, these are dangerous times. There's not a lot you can do about the script. Val's going to weak a lot of characters. You're gonna eat a lot of punches as well. And in that admin aside, the characters that get weak to Val with a punch probably aren't going to survive. So Blink is a solution. Looks like we're going to soldier on ahead, keep Rosa down, and try to power through this. Don't have much of a choice because everybody is berserked as well.
Well, gotta go. Might as well. You might as well. There's not much. Weak is a problem only if you get punched. So that's not. So weak can be distributed, but Kane has to be in the air, and Kane ultimately cannot die, or this fight is a reset. Because Kane dies, there's nothing stopping that whirlwind from happening, and making those damage be comical numbers. 777, not lucky.
All right, so we were a little bit off on the timing on the first go round. Oh no, there goes Edge. I haven't been keeping track of how much damage we've done, but those are hefty numbers we're doing with the Avenger Cecil.
Val has max HP at this spot, which is 65,000, slightly above 65,000. So that's part of the problem here.
Alright, we're back in tornado form, so that means damage is minimal. Looks like we're going to go Cure 4, recover everybody, and get one more jump in. He's got to be close. He's got to be close, because we've gone through a number of cycles through this. So you got to be close. Those Edge and Cecil was doing some decent damage when we were out of tornado form. And we got Bagan here at the altar for Sigil. Bagan equally punchy, but he has more things that can punch you. However, he doesn't have that wonderful tornadoes to protect him against everything. So I think we're with the levels and the power we have. Sigil's fine, but Bagan can be a tough cookie in certain spots.
If you typically want to zerk your zerkers, try to just let them do the thing. But the problem because the arms essentially absorb some of the attention. Ideally, you want to get one of the arms removed so he doesn't try to revive both arms. It's kind of a slow fight because it's not like you're using at least it's just not really using Paladin to quake all the arms, which will probably speed up the fight. Leaving Rosa do nothing isn't exactly productive. Rosa should be trying to heal or zerk or even cast slow on Bagan because hasn't mostly done anyways at this point.
Alright, so I think we got to get this go round of the no tornado form. This Cecil's been putting up quite a bit of work, and we've been in and out of tornado form quite a bit. We got to be close. We do have that spoon if we haven't darted already that we could possibly throw out there. There we go. Nicely done by Aeriyah.
There's a pass for Sigil, which Aeriyah will also pick up technically, but the pass won't be as useful for Aeriyah. Sigil might be able to skip Giant if there's a key item that shows up. Either the tower key for the super cannon or the adamant for the forge. So Sigil has more opportunities to do something different, where Aeriyah was doing the kind of the destined option, I guess.
All right, so the Mazamoon spot is no cakewalk, and it's Rubicante. Yeah, Aeriyah still has one more fight to go through, get through the Giant of Babel. This spot does max physical attacks and max magic attack, and it's not a fun spot. Fortunately, it doesn't have as much HP as the spot before it, so... And maybe we'll get something up a little bit on the easier side. Or we'll get Leviathan.
The Ice Teas will definitely hurt, but Ruby's Glare will murder someone that doesn't have a curse string plus some fire-resistant armor. So yeah, this is not ideal. The Fire 2s are also painful, as you can see. This spot is far more painful than the Element spot. This is when you have a spot where a boss has their magic stat boosted to the high heavens. They have very dangerous. Paladin is going down.
Yeah, these life potions are tricky because every time our Berserk edge swings, we're going to eat a fire too, so it's just going to be really, really hard to get a life potion off and then have a chance to heal in the in between fire 2 counters.
You want to use a trick. Cast Flame. So when you cast a fire elemental spell on Ruby casts life 1 to your party, like sort of like an Azura, an Azura cast that goes your way. That would be something to do for Edge if he stopped being Zerk and just do that. But you know, hey, the message. You know how rare that ever pops up? It's like, I forget the HP value, but it's like less than 5% of the of his max HP. It's very rare to trigger in the normal game.
Alright, pop quiz Deathlike. What is Sigil going to do with that Muhammad orb?
Eat it? No. I don't. Nothing. So that's probably gonna have to do the giant at this point. That's what's gonna happen. There's no.
He might do is he gonna check the ribbon room? Because he might just say, hey, what if I just take a stab at the ribbon room while here? If it's gross, just get out of there. Maybe if it's free, it's 2 key items. But if it's one of the 2 I need, say
because
giant trip.
Got the pass, so there's safety in doing that. So yeah, that might be a worthwhile gamble to do instead of doing giant. And we already know what's in the giant. So I think you have to remember the bosses. There's 2 bosses in the giant, and we know what they are from seeing what area did. Oh wow. Speak of this. Just have the boss that absorbs all that HP into a wave. Yeah. So let's see how much that wave does.
It's gonna do a lot.
It will. It might be enough to murder Paladin and Kain, but we'll see how much damage there is from the spot. I think with this but being pretty fast, that should have eaten quite a bit of it. So I'm thinking at this point is maybe closer to 800 HP. I think that lit is too late, but the damage shouldn't be too bad though. Nope. Worse than I thought. But you have enough HP to tank at least one to survive. Kain just had too few HP to do it with, though.
Yeah, I think we're fine now in the fight. However, they're going to do enough damage that the next wave is going to be unnoticeable, unrecognizable compared to the first one. Aeriyah making their way through. I think this was Bagan, so they'll get their pass here from this, but they're in a different situation because they've already completed the giant. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. What does Sigil get here? Because I think he's comfortably through this fight now. So let's find out what he gets from the ribbon room, because this could be a very, 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 very race changing and flip this entire race upside down yet again.
That's not a lot of damage. When you're turtling, that's not gonna do a lot of damage even when it's queued. Though it's still weak enough that King keels over, but that's fine. This is pretty safe at this point.
All right, there we go. Adamant would be the preferred. Tower would be a nice constellation price. Maybe a Holy Sword. I think Crystal Sword Adamant's the best possible thing here for Cecil. the defense sword and the twin arm.
Oh,
So neither.
no.
I think that was the worst possible thing. Sigil.
Yeah. There were
That's
too many
unfortunate.
key items left. Yeah, there were too many key items in the pool left. So yeah, that's. I mean, you had to gamble. That's. I mean, it makes sense to gamble on that, but didn't work out.
All right. Aeriyah just has his Rubicante in front of him at the Mazmoon spot. Sigil has a couple bosses in tow. Here at the Giant of Babel, I think we got Battle up first. Yeah, we do have Battle up first. So Aeriyah was able to just show some grit, show some expertise, understand the situation, keep a firm handle on it, and get through the Val fight. Deathlight, do you think Sigil could do the same here?
Probably. I think the only difference is that Palom will probably not exactly contribute. I don't think Sigil's. I'm not sure if Sigil's Palom has reached nuke level yet, so that sort of matters on how much faster that fight can be. So depending on whether Sigil has nuke on Palom will make a difference. Other than that, I'm trying to think of any other way because that's the only difference. Like Aeriyah has Porm just being the anchor, which is fine, but she's not her only contributing to the fight is just being being the anchor. Whereas Sigil having Palom as the anchor does actually speed up Val a bit. No, definitely not. So might as well keep Palom down. Wouldn't really be effective on Val anyways at the spot. So yeah, this is fine. This is the surprise. It's like, oh.
All right. Bacchus is coming out. Is Kane have the Avenger? No, he does not have the Avenger. That's great. That's fortunate. That's incredibly fortunate there. Kane doesn't have an Avenger equipped.
I mean, they have both. They do have both. I don't think the Avenger's been thrown in this fight at all. Now finding out, yeah, Kane has to jump. Palom just doesn't really have to do anything. Might as well skip the turn. Probably better to give it to let Rosa blink or something. Don't leaving on Palom doesn't do you any good. Palom might as well be dead for the purposes of this fight, actually. But the problem is Cecil's gonna cover, so it doesn't make a difference until Cecil becomes weakened. And that's also a problem. But I wonder if Aeriyah's gonna do the walk.
We're just gonna straight YOLO it.
For safety, probably want to save, but hey, we'll find out. Z preparing. Don't want to be on Avenger mode when the fight starts.
No, I love it. I love this. Tall Grant's probably tearing our area right now. We got no time to save. We got to race to win. We're playing against Sigil. If you're not familiar with Sigil's game, he is a veteran at mini a randomizer. He is no one to take lightly, and although we don't know it, we are comfortably ahead in the race at this moment. Love the aggression from Aeriyah. We've been gifted all these wonderful goodies. Now let's go put them to use in the toughest fight in the game.
Yeah, it's that time of the night.
Deathlight, how do you think the Z fight's going to go for Aeriyah?
Fast and furious. It should be a lot of fun.
So there's going to be 9 of them?
13 of them. 13.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we have the 2 Avengers. Edge has fantastic weapons. We got numerous sources of Bacchus and Berserks. So yeah, this should be a comfortable Zeromus fight. And with Tall Grant in tow, we should be more than capable to handle this. This fight could go sideways. Maybe Big Bang gets a high roll. Maybe something else goes a little bit sideways. But as long as we stay on the right path, I think we are comfortably in good shape here.
I mean, Porm will sit down as soon as Big Bang shows up. But just have to ask the question. But are we going to kick tonight? Reasons. Mega Man reference. I don't know which one. I just know it's Mega Man because I remember the cartoon.
All right, so out comes the Silk Web. We get our first nerfed Big Bang. The first one is free to nerf. The second one and the preceding ones get a little bit trickier. But we're putting out quite a bit of damage, so that may not be a big problem to worry about. That nuke on Edge is a little concerning, but I think it didn't do enough damage where this Big Bang would make this follow-up Big Bang, nerf Big Bang any scary.
I mean, all Rosa has to do is heal when she needs to. Otherwise, Zerk, maybe Zerk Edge when he's out of darts. That's about it. Sigil complete the fight, not too shabby. They still has to take on Leviathan, but that should be at this point. It's practically free at this point, but still has to do the fight because it's part of the requirement.
Yeah, Sigil is at the top of the giant, and obviously Aeriyah is on the final flat. But remember, Sigil does have his pass, so if he gets through this in a timely manner and Aeriyah falters, he will be right back in this. But Aeriyah got a full heal off. Everybody is now at max HP. Still a ways to go, but we're sitting good right now at the moment. But that can all change.
I mean, there's a really slight chance that Big Bang would take down Rosa, but it still can happen, but unlikely. Usually with all the levels and whatever pieces of equipment given, it's usually more than enough. There's still, as I said, there is a chance.
I think we've definitely already triggered the HP refill, so we just got a little bit more to go. We are going to see this Big Bang. Yeah, not even that bad. Not even that bad for another Big Bang. That's on the lower side all around. Pretty fortunate.
It is. It's fun when you have Zerkers. You don't have to, as long as they're swinging and doing a certain amount of HP per turn is pretty fine. Black Hole is a small interruption, but probably will try to Zerk them up. Could use Rosa Duda or use her to heal. Though the Avengers characters,
yeah, I got the Avengers. I think that's it. Yeah, that is it. Very nicely done. GG's to Aeriyah. GG's to Tall Grant. Very impressive, top to bottom, start to finish, on their efforts tonight. Very well done.
So it ultimately came down to what their decision making going up into after getting the whale, because they were about the same time. Just the routing from the whale made a difference, because Sigil had to do basically an extra boss fight, and because hoping to get a key item from the ribbon room. So that sort of added to the time spent.
Yeah, we're going to see if Aeriyah and Tall Grant would like to join us for an interview in Arena. Just a moment. Looks like that's them. That ding ding, I believe, is Aeriyah and Tall Grant. Indeed it is. Guys, can y'all hear us okay?
Yep, that's us. Thank you.
Yeah, very, very impressive job tonight. Start to finish. GG's, my friend. What went well for you in that seat tonight?
Thanks. I think Tall Grant keeping me steady was pretty big. We started getting nervous when we just weren't running into stuff that were objectives on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And we got darkness super late because we didn't go to Feymarch until late. But we already had our grind done, so it was convenient to do Leviathan. So we're like, full commit, just do Giant, all the Darkness Crystal stuff, and go to the moon and then swag walk it and see what we could do. And it worked out.
Yeah, you mentioned Tall Grant had kept you on the straight and narrow. What has he been like for you out your Paladin Cup experience? How has he assisted your learning and your development in your free enterprise career?
There's a lot to be said about knowing when you're done getting loot.
Mm-hmm.
as my friends can attest, 100% overlooted like crazy when I was first starting out, and I was turning in like 2+ hour seeds, and then after talking to Tall Grant and making some adjustments, being like, okay, well, why are you still looting them? Like, you're right. So, yeah, I think that's been a big thing. Some stuff like reminding me of when something's a mage and I can equip the rune axe, what in fact is not a mage or what is not a giant, is helpful. So just a lot of the little stuff that is less visible, I think. He's been really good with helping with, and then also just like preparing for a match, get a little sweaty, a little nervous, and he helps calm me down nicely. So he's been a lot to help with, for sure.
Yeah. You had mentioned you had was logging some 2-hour seeds when you were getting started. So this question is going to be for Tall Grant. Tall Grant, when you've watched Aeriyah, when you've seen them work through their enterprise journey, what are some of the things that you've instilled in them that you've taken from your own gameplay and tried to imbue into Aeriyah?
To tell you the truth, mechanically, Aeriyah's been really strong. There's a lot of decent game knowledge as a foundation to build on, and just understanding kind of what gear we're looking for and what things to be done were there. So there were just a couple of really early strategy tips that I gave over to him, and he took it and ran with him. I know we say he had 2-hour seeds, but I think I saw exactly one of those, and then he went off and practiced, and he was below 90 just about ever since. So just a really good mechanical foundation. I think there's just a couple tips that come from experience to point him in the right direction and then turn him loose and watch him go.
All right, very very well said. Deathlike, it looks like Sigil is finishing up his Zeromus fight, or excuse me, his cut man on this fight. Deathlike, do you have anything for Aeriyah, our race winner tonight, and their mentor Tall Grant before we let them go? And
I guess the only question, in terms of routing, I feel the late game routing won you the game, but the early game routing was a little circuitous. So how about, why don't you kind of run me through the routing early on?
Yeah, so I'm big on Fade Fabul until you can't anymore. So I was trying my best to not go there if possible. I know it could have had the key, magma key, but I didn't feel like it was necessarily worth the payoff, because if I did hook route, I could get more XP on Palom, and then give him warp so that I could warp to the back of the Dwarf castle. So I kind of factored that for just XP I needed, especially since we only had one Siren, and I think that kind of worked out. I mean, it did because magma wasn't over there. I think maybe the head scratcher was doing Earth instead of just going straight to the magma key. Is that right?
Yeah, basically I think you did the loot Treasury and then you came back out instead of doing Zot, I think.
Oh yeah, just because it wasn't an objective, I thought I'd try and find underground access a little bit faster and see if we could find something that was objectives. I'm glad I went back and did it, because obviously it was the package, and that helped me go mode a little bit faster. But I went over there strictly for the hype cave, just to see if I could round out any extra loot that I needed. And I figured I'd waltz around the rest of the seed that I could. And I was like, well, I need some more experience, and a key item check isn't going to kill me, so I'll just go back and do Earth Crystal now.
Right. I mean, I think if you watch this back, if you watch what Sigil did in terms of the early game routing, it might save you some time. Like the routing was not smooth. Like I think if I recall correctly, you went to Baron Inn, then went doing Zot. Where from routing perspective, if you did Zot, you would come down to Baron anyways, and then you could have done the Baron Inn. So
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I think. I'm sure if you just watch it back, you'll see that you can have some optimizations on that. But so who? I guess the question is when you got the whale, because you both got the whale about the same time. the decision essentially to do the ideal order was to do giant, even though I'm sure your Val experience was just as fun as your opponent's, but yeah, but that worked out because then you can do the swag walk.
Yeah, for sure. That was a tall grant call to do giant before I went up, since we didn't have the pass, which is the correct play. I mean, it's a huge time sink, especially with that Val fight there, because it was like, what, 6 minutes or something like that. But I think
it wasn't a reset.
Yeah.
That. I mean, that's a risky play, but it's like that made the most sense just from racing. You had you did find the pass, but there's just like where's your key item to get the last objective if you didn't have to do giant, and that's what your opponent did. So that's how it worked out. Is you just did the thing, it just worked out, and you didn't have to reset, and then that worked pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, I thought about Baron Key for a second to see if just the last key item I needed was in there, but I figured if after the time I was going to have to invest in that, combined with whatever objective I was going to have to do after, it probably was going to be roughly the same, plus I get a lot of XP out of the giant, so it made sense.
So,
but Val was nasty.
Yeah, Val in this fork is pretty nasty.
Good thing we had Kane, huh?
That's the answer to everything. Everyone speaks about Kane. I'm a Kane fan, and people don't understand when Val rolls around in the worst spot, and you don't have an answer to Val. Your seed is done. Your seed is practically over because you were having when she wasn't spinning. You saw the damage. You saw the numbers. You don't have.
Yeah.
You don't have. You need that safety blanket, and sometimes that safety blanket is the answer.
What were you thinking about when I was going into giant, Tall Grant? Were you like, did we mess up somewhere, or were you like, nah, we got this?
I thought you had it. I didn't see anything that was going to be a terrible threat in that thing. That's annoying as that Val was. I just didn't want to bump into like a K-Naught, so that's the real unpleasant fight in that setup.
I was so worried about Galvez.
Galvez is Galvez. You know that Joker is it's enough per seed. I think Val is a far greater, scarier threat. Kinazo, ironically, was in the ribbon room, but you were fortunate. Yeah. So don't worry about it. I mean, if you rewatch it, you'll see what happened, but yeah, you avoided a turtle. So good, congrats.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. You guys probably want to get Sigil in here, yeah?
But if you have any other thoughts about the seed or about this race in general, feel free to mention.
No, I'm good. I'm happy with how we finished, obviously, and I'm looking forward to the next round. Let's see how that goes.
All right, GG's again. GG's again, Grant. Thank you all for joining us for our post-race interview. I think we're going to get Sigil and Commander Leon in here as well in just a moment.
Sounds good. GG, Sigil.
Yeah, thank you all again.
And
that ding means we have Sigil. That second laugh, that recognizable laugh, means we have Commander Leonhardt joining us. GG, guys. 1:24:31 is the official time.
Thank you.
Sigil, how did the seed go for you tonight? What are your thoughts on it as a whole?
As a whole, I liked how I played, except the Eblin Castle.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the Eblin Castle, I wanted the Avenger. I did the gamble with the ribbon room that I have the adamant or the tower key, so I could at least save some minutes from not doing the giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had mentioned the inventory boss cut up to you a little bit, and unfortunately the Avenger system. We figured that's what was going on. The Avenger is really good. Plus, you had the 2 ideal Avenger users going on there. So you made really good work of the difficulties put in front of you. Never really faltering with any of the difficult bosses. That Val was nasty. Rubicante was equally brutal. So talk to us about a little bit what Commander Leonhardt, an expert for Enterprise play himself, has imbued into you from a mentor standpoint.
I know he's probably gonna yell at me or nag me. Use the R button. I feel I'm not good with that because of force of habits.
What
But-
does the R button do?
You don't take the stuff in the chest.
I see what you mean. It's hard not to, man. There's so
Yeah.
much good stuff out there.
I know. And I'm a loot goblin by nature. But he taught me to pretty much go after the objectives first.
Smart stuff.
Yes.
Commander Leonhardt, Sigil, if you don't know, or if anybody else doesn't know, I believe I said this before, but he's a veteran of Mini, a randomizer, so he picks up games fast. Can you talk to us a little bit how quickly Sigil has gone from logging 2-hour and 30-minute seeds from just a few weeks ago to now competing on Restream and logging sub-90s? What have you done? What work have you done with Sigil to get him to this point?
Mostly just the things that are specific to this randomizer. Like you said, sigils, no stranger to other randomizers, and that was apparent early. Again, I've lost count of how many times I've said, check your freebies, do your objectives, and Sigil has taken that to heart real fast. Mostly, as far as that, just things that are specific to this randomizer, like Sigil's used to Worlds Collide, where pause waiting is very much a thing, and I'm like, yeah, that does nothing here. Don't worry about it. If you're feeling really spicy, look up how to run buffer. I can't teach you how to do that. That's beyond me. So, just some of those basic specifics. This is weighted routing. These are the general theories on T-Wildish, what makes an area good and not good. These are the specific areas that are nice. Some general knowledge specific to the randomizer has mainly been my role.
Very well said, my friend. Deathlike, do you have anything for Sigil and Commander Leonhardt while we got him?
So talked about routing to your opponents. So I actually liked your routing early on. And kind of did some things better. If you rewatch the VOD, you'll understand what I mean. But late when you by the time you launched the whale, your opponents basically did that about the same time. The routing for that after that point was not. Wasn't really optimal. You basically had to take a fight that didn't net you anything you wanted, and that wasn't of all things. The loot, the reset because of the looting didn't. I don't think it hurt you that much. It did. That certainly hurt you, but it didn't. But I don't think that was the difference. It's the late game routing, pretty much, the extra boss fight effectively was the difference. It was the difference, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and in hindsight, 4 minutes means it was closer going into the ribbon. But of course, you're in a tunnel. You don't know that going in. Obviously, if we could have, popped our head up and seen where Aeriyah was, been like, you know what? Nope, just pedal to the metal. We're just gonna outrun through the giant. But that's how the raid goes.
I guess what the question is so you wanted to do the giant last, of course. You hope you get a key item from either of the altars, right? And then hope. Yeah, and that obviously that didn't work out. So I guess was the giant being first on that list not on the table, or was a decision? What was the decision behind that? I guess
Not wanting to do the giant.
yeah. Because go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't too sure of the bosses in there, And at the time, if I got the pass, I could go into the giant stronger. But I just felt behind because of the early game.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, every single time, anytime you actually have to reset when you didn't want to, you always feel behind. That is very natural.
Because that was what led me to do the ribbon room, to see if I could gain back time by finding the adamant.
Right. I understand that. So, I think your opponent's obviously it wasn't. Wasn't what was it? Your opponent's decision. Tall Grant made that decision for him. So I guess, and I totally understand that you didn't. You went on. You're correct. Like the boss, you saw the bosses after the fact, of course. So having seen that, I'm sure you might have. Technically, it's a valid choice. It's just that it didn't work out because you didn't get a key item from the boss.
So what are you gonna work on after tonight, moving forward for the next race?
Pay better attention to my inventory.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I would never yell at you, Sigil, but my advice actually is less R button and more sell in shop sooner. When you've committed to your party and you walk past a shop, unload.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm used to the unlimited inventory space.
Oh yeah.
Inventory boss is a beast here.
Yeah.
That's right. It's the secret enemy that you didn't know you had to fight. So yeah.
He speaks the truth.
Yes.
Well, GG's again, my friends. Thank y'all both so much for doing Restream and then joining us afterwards. We appreciate y'all. Is there anything y'all want to give a shout out to or a quick mention to before we head on off for the evening?
Now, I'd just like to thank you guys for having us on Restream.
Mm-hmm.
And
our
thank
pleasure.
you. And thank you, Glue, for putting this to get the Paladin Cup together. It's been a blast for me. And I'd like to thank Commander for putting up with my antics.
Antics indeed. We mentioned how controversial you are earlier, Sigil.
Yeah.
Commander, same question to you real fast before we sign off.
No, Sigil's been a great paladin. It's been a joy. I'm glad I signed up for it. And as always, Glue, thanks for the commentary. Xenocat, thanks for pushing the buttons. FBL, thanks for handling that restream and getting it all put over. And everyone in the audience, thanks for showing up and watching this. This is a lot of fun, and there'd be no point without you all here. So, thanks everyone.
Yeah. Very well said. And without further ado, thank you FBL for hosting the Restream tonight, Xenocat for pushing the buttons, and Deathlike, for joining us on joining me on commentary tonight. I believe we have nothing else lined up for the Free Enterprise channel until Friday for the usual community race. So yeah, be sure to tune in Friday, or maybe play in the race yourself if you want to have some fun and play a little bit of Free Enterprise. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us, and hope everybody has a fantastic night.